There are three major developments landing in this case at once, and tomorrow brings a fourth moment this family has been dreading for over 2 weeks. First, the FBI has finally put its role in this case in writing, on the record, in full. Second, the young woman at the center of this case's biggest unresolved contradiction has broken her own silence, not through a relative, not through a secondhand post, but face to face with Nolan's own mother. Third, somewhere in this story, a family connected to this case has become the target of an actual threat, serious enough that federal resources are now involved. And fourth, tomorrow, Nolan Wells will be laid to rest. Tonight, before that happens, we're going through everything that's landed in the past few days carefully and separating what's officially confirmed from what's still being reported secondhand. For weeks, the question of exactly why the FBI was involved in this case had only been answered in fragments, a line here, a comment there. This week, the Bureau's Jackson field office released an actual, complete public statement, and it's worth hearing in full. The statement reads that while the FBI has assisted with certain aspects of the investigation using federal tools and partnerships that have proved valuable, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office is leading and will continue to lead this investigation. It describes a trusting, effective partnership between Jackson County and the FBI built over many years of working side by side on complex cases.
Well, the bootlicks are out here in full swing, man. Listen, they out here. Y'all know Brandon Tatum. He always finds his way to get out in the public eye to take up for W supremacy. Now, y'all know he's been in trouble for a while because he was siding with that protected class over there. And his base, a lot of his base turned on him. They turned on him. They turned on ABL because, a lot of these people, ABL was supporting Carmelo Anthony, saying that was self-defense. The other, Brandon Tatum, was supporting that protected group. And a lot of his base was upset. They was calling them primates, all kinds of names, everything, right? And he was found himself trying to defend himself. But he is the ultimate raccoon. Ultimate, right? So now he's trying to, get in the way of the Nolan Wells situation. And he wants to call out attorney Benjamin Crump and want to put, be all up in the business. Now, mind you, this family is a good people, never been in trouble with the law. Son wasn't a thug, none of that. All the stuff that they used to try to downplay the community and black culture, they was none of that. So why are you even speaking on this, right? Because they pay you to go out there and run interference. You get to say things that they can't say, so they'll use you. So you had this woman on there on News Nation. She was clearly backing, Brandon Tatum, but the woman Tezlyn, Tezlyn of Fargo, she handled herself well. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but she's defending the family, and she was standing on business because, man, Brandon Tatum don't got no shame, none. I mean, I'm not shocked, I'm not amazed, but we going, listen, man. These people, they're highly paid to do what they do, man. So, we're gonna get off into this, man. We're gonna get off into this.
Brandon, let's start with you. Just from a law enforcement perspective, what do you make of the timeline, the lack of answers, what maybe occurred here?
Well, I think the first thing is that these activists came in and brought in information or lies about circumstances to make people question. The law enforcement officers have already done an autopsy. They've already investigated. There's no sign of foul play.
The law enforcement, see, this is where this guy, and I'm telling you, he's a liar. Like, I don't know what happened to him as a child, but something's wrong. Police didn't release the autopsy yet. So when he said he has no way of knowing if there's no signs of foul play at all, he doesn't know none of this. Then he's gonna go and say, well, he had some credible people came to him. They always say that, but don't mention the people, don't mention how they got it. This guy is the ultimate liar and bootlicker, man. Bootlicker. And they know that he's a bootlicker and a useful tool. They use him until they don't need it no more, then they just break him.
And one thing that's very interesting that I just found out recently is that it wasn't a situation where you have Nolan Wells and 4 of the kids at an island. There's thousands of people there. There's hundreds of different boats. So him staying behind while some of his other friends went back to the mainland wasn't that suspicious.
And again, he's being disingenuous because of what the GPS is saying. This guy is so disingenuous, and it's sad, man.
Really wish that the family would focus on Nolan Wells' life, focus on the investigation, and let the the police do their job.
So we should focus on investigation and let the Mississippi police do their job. When he himself, he knows the history of Mississippi and the way they handle business when it comes to black and white. He likes to speak as if there's no race. This whole country is built off of race. The whole mental and social fabric of this country is race. He knows this. He knows this because his fan base, when they turn on him, they tell him this. This guy is so disingenuous, man. So disingenuous. I mean, it's disgusting.
Instead of interjecting race into this situation, and it's completely unnecessary to be there at this point.
So Tezlyn, you've worked with Ben Crump. You have valuable insight into how he operates. You're not speaking for him tonight, but what do you think about the timeline and whether it determines whether Nolan was still alive before the boat left the island, like his friends insist?
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I'm speaking as a mom, of a 19-year-old. In the same way Officer Tatum wishes that people would not insert lies, I wish Officer Tatum would allow the investigation, the independent investigation, to run its course. You don't know, Mr. Tatum, what has been talked about in this investigation. It has not been complete, and people have not came forward to say what happened with Nolan Wells. So I actually do believe his parents when they said that they taught their son to leave with whoever you came with. So for you to make the accusations that is a lie when they're burying their son on Monday is, quite frankly, to be disgusting, Officer Tatum.
Well,
and I'm ashamed.
You know what's funny? I hope that you're paying attention to this, because there's a lot of information that have come out, and I've gotten firsthand knowledge about some things that have happened on that island, and people are going to be ashamed of themselves for sitting here.
Man, they always say that he got firsthand knowledge of what happened on that island, and people are going to be ashamed of themselves. Man, listen, miss me with that stuff, man. Miss me with it. Like, this dude is a piece of garbage.
Lying and pushing racism in this circumstance. Well, I don't know what happened, but I do know. I'll let you finish. I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just saying I got firsthand knowledge too. But as we're talking about right now, as we're talking about right now, you made the accusation that there were lies, that race has been interjected. Like I said last week, if people don't want people to speculate, then investigate. So this
that's true. Brandon, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that topic, because Ben Crump is notorious and has been criticized by people who have used.
Well, first of all, this devil just used the term Ben Crump is notorious. Notorious for what? Right? She's a news anchor. She's supposed to be reporting the news. He's notorious for what? All these lawyers as ambulance chasers, they're not on TV calling them out for nothing. They only calling out Ben Crump because he's a civil rights attorney that goes after the money when W folks do something to us. So now all of a sudden he's notorious. But it's countless W lawyers that are ambulance chasers. They don't use their platforms to go after them because that's their people. That's their people. And this is what's happening here, right? So watch how this Beelzebubian operate. Watch how this jackal operate. Watch what she do.
Him in the past for their cases of being an ambulance chaser, pushing a narrative that fits the racial lens that he wants it to. You've talked about this on your podcast and how you believe
she's right now swaying the media to use it in the racial lens in the way that they want it to. She's not being neutral coming down the door. Right, her horns is coming up out of her head. This Beelzebubian right here is showing you who she is. This is why I'm telling y'all, leave them alone, stay out their wombs, leave them alone. Right? This just watch this.
Young black men are unfortunately killed every single day, and people like Ben Crump and
so she brings up the term black men get killed every single day, and people like Ben Crump bring that up. What the hell does that got to do with this case now? See, they want to interject that to get into your mind because they know that you're traumatized in the communities that you come from. So they interject that. They can sway your mind. This is what they do. This is trickery that they do in your mind. Witchcraft, sorcery. No, you put on your titanium helmets to so you don't be distracted by the witches' wars and the elements, man. These people are insane. What she just did had absolutely nothing to do with the case. What does so-called black on black crime got to do with what happened with Nolan Wells on that boat when he went off on the boat with 3 W's and they all came back and he didn't? So basically, so what you're saying, if I was Tezlyn Fargo, what I would have said, so since you interjected that, so because we have so-called black on black crime, that you're justifying what happened to him, Oh, no, that's not. Why did you bring that up? What the hell does that got to do with this case now? Yeah, see, I'm wearing my titanium helmets to keep me safe from the warlock spells and the elements, right? That's K Reno. To keep me safe from the warlock spells and the elements. What she's saying with her tongue. Listen to what she's saying.
Now Sharpton just highlights certain stories that benefit them rather than the families.
Well, let's keep it real. This is all about money. Benjamin Crump will never show up to a kid's funeral or say anything about a kid that's killed by another black kid. But if there's an opportunity to interject racism into a situation where there's no evidence of racism, Benjamin Crump will be there to do it. What is his end goal? He's not a.
Everything in this country is about race. We got scores of incidents in Mississippi that's happened, right? We saw what you guys just did to Carmelo Anthony. We see what you guys doing to Daniel Irvin over there in North Texas. When is it not about race? It's always about race in this country, because we know that the same people, when we have bad things happen to us with W folks, we got to go to W folks to get justice. So there is no justice. It's just us, right? So it's funny how y'all want to mark them as ambulance chasers. But what about these judges? What about these lawyers? These police officers who we got to go to get justice? We got to just trust them, knowing they got preconceived notions about us, right? And they'll use you as their guard dog, Brandon.
He's not a criminal attorney, so he's not going to help the family get justice on a criminal level. He's a civil rights attorney. You don't need a civil rights attorney in a case where you're wondering if the investigation is going right for your son, unless you believe this has something to do with racism.
Let him finish, and then I'll let you talk. Okay, let him finish his point, and then I'll let you respond.
He's going on a diatribe. So let's
no, he's not. He's speaking, and I'll let you respond as soon as he's done making his point.
Katie, I'll let the young lady go. Go ahead. I would love to hear what you got to say today.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Officer Tatum. Thank you. Well, let's just once again, speaking about things that you don't know about. Katie, you set it up with talking about Ben Crump being notorious for race baiting. I could name a couple of things that Officer Tatum here is also notorious for. So let's be careful on how we
don't need these personal attacks.
I'm gonna finish.
Now, see, now this is where you're dealing with a double and the Beelzebubian. She said we don't need no personal attacks, but she just took a personal attack on Benjamin Crump and Sharpton. You took a personal attack on national TV on there, right? And she feels as though she can take it because she's a Beelzebubian. So she can do that, right? So now when the sister goes and takes a shot at Brandon Tatum for siding with that, she want to interject and say, we don't need no personal attacks and try to cut her off, right? This is what they do. This is what they do. Take the emotion out, just sit back and listen to a devil operate, right? Listen to a devil operate with their slithering tongues.
My statement. I'm going to finish my statement. And let me also correct you on something else, Mr. Tatum, when you said Ben Crump will never show up.
Now, you see how he's making his face because she said, I'm going to finish my statement. He wants to say stupid stuff and lies, right? They want to cut her off and double team her. So she's saying, no, I'm going to finish my statement because you said he was a notorious ambulance chaser. She fired back and then she want to interject.
For a black kid that was murdered by a black kid. My cousin, Jordan Turner, who was 19 and was murdered by another black kid that also went away with his friends and never returned home. Guess who showed up? Attorney Benjamin Crump. I know you're looking confused. See, this is why it's important
Was that related to black people? There was black people involved in his death?
She just told you that.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
and
one.
They were convicted.
And we didn't hear about it plastered all over the media. That's a big difference.
See, this is why you don't.
Well, you said you didn't hear about it plastered all over the media, so it doesn't matter. But this is what I'm saying. Y'all got to be real careful when you're dealing with these fork-tongued devils, man.
No, this is why you should speak of what you know and not what you heard. So again, when it comes down to Nolan Wells, I ask that we use this time to ask people to come forward and speak about what they.
So the thing is, man, you guys got to be careful because you got these so-called these black conservatives. They're not black conservatives. They are black bootlickers. And they have to do and say everything that W supremacy want them to say, because the minute they don't, they turn on them, they break their tools. This is not conservatism. We know what conservatism was because we saw our grandmothers in them practice it, not these people, right? We saw our grandparents practice it. We saw when we wasn't having these issues in Philadelphia, Detroit, and cities across America, they were still unaliving us. Again, I ask, whoever said that W folks were psychologically fit to govern anything over us. You can't trust them. So all of a sudden, they just change. Hey, we turned over a new leaf from our wicked past. We're sorry. And if you don't accept our sorry, then you're wrong. You're the problem, right? We got issues in our own communities. We ain't doing nothing to them. They have a whole history of doing everything to us. We don't have that history of doing it to them. So for Brandon Tatum to be up there talking the manner in which he's talking, we know it's fake. They know it's fake. They use you as a tool. We have no history of harming them in the manner in which they harm us or using laws to unjustly punish them in the way that they've done it to us. It's just, but again, when they psychologically condition you to make you believe you're something you're not, and you enact that on each other, now she invokes, well, black people do this all the time and they don't come out. What the hell does that got to do? But again, she's using mind control and mind games. Take the emotion out and let the devil talk. The devil will always expose himself. The devil will tell you exactly who he is if you're paying attention. They know what they've done to you. They know what they do. They know what they say about you behind your back. We can see it's way too many cases. Listen, we got over 5,000 cold cases of lynchings in this country and essay assaults and millions of black men that's been arrested from the 1900s ever since they put the slave codes in, right? And also the 13th Amendment and where they was putting black men in jail when they made the movie Life about it. We already got all that stuff, documented history of what they've done. Somebody tell me when they changed. When has there been any form of recompense or any form of equality or make right what you did wrong? So all of a sudden they changed, and when you don't want to accept it, you are the wrong person. And they got y'all going for this stuff, man. They are the same people today than they was yesterday. Nothing has changed. And this Beelzebub Jackal 666 Damien is on there. She's telling you who she is. But remember, a 18-year-old lost his life. She has no compassion for it at all. She doesn't care. Because he's not even human to her. That's why they talk the way that they talk. She didn't say, well, Benjamin Crump is notorious, but my heart goes out to the mother and the father of the deceased. I feel bad for them, and I know that they have to bury their son on Monday, and my prayers go out to them, but I just don't understand why maybe they had to use Benjamin Crump. She didn't say any of that. She just said Benjamin Crump is notorious and allowed Brandon Tatum to say it's about money because you're dealing with Beelzebubians. But hey, man, listen, what do I know, man? What do I know? Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.